At ANOKHI, we love your passion for music. Tell me where that comes from.
Just the only thing I've ever been good at since I was a kid was making music or singing music. So it's just been like such a major part of my life. I often talk to people, they're like, we don't have that one passion in our lives. And I just couldn't imagine that, because for me, it's just always been music through success and failure.
Tonight, you're going to be performing for the Indian Student Society at the University of Toronto.
Yes.
A group of students who are in a position to really be inspired by those who are in your position.
Okay.
What do you want them to take away from your experiences, your career, your music?
I want them to feel like the music I've made is a soundtrack to some portion of their life, whether it's Storyteller from 10 years ago or whether it's Fire. You know, I just spoke to 3 students, and one of them is like, I grew up in India, and when Storyteller came out, it was the first cassette and CD and vinyl that I bought. And I spoke to another student who said, I grew up in Africa, but I'd never heard of you, but when I moved to Canada, my favorite song on the radio was Fire. I discovered your history, and you have this tremendous Indian history, and now I'm a big fan of your Bollywood work. And I spoke to somebody else who just discovered me through A.R. Rahman. So it's like all these different avenues of my career and people who've discovered me in different areas, but in some way they have an emotional connectability. And so that's fun, because I'm not on stage for a long time tonight, but I'm going to give them all bits of those parts of my history and some of the new music.
So I'm listening to you describe that relationship with those who listen to your music. Is that intent there all the time?
No, I make music that moves me. Whether it makes me want to dance, or it makes me want to laugh, or it makes me want to cry. I think if it does that to me, I'm a pretty self-deprecating, self-critical individual when it comes to my music, and I think if it can do that to me, it has the opportunity to do that to others. Whether or not I get the medium, enough radio play, enough video play, people will go and hit it on YouTube enough, or they buy it, that is somewhat out of my hands. But if it moves me, I feel it has an opportunity to move them.
Now, when it comes to Bollywood, Tak Hain Jaan, Yash Chopra, A.R. Rahman, we lost a stalwart in our industry when Yash Chopra passed away, but your voice is always going to be connected to the soundtrack of his very last film. Describe that moment when, you were asked to be a part of that soundtrack.
It was the very first time I met A.R. and he said, I got a song that's perfect for you. And this was in Bombay, and it was like 10 o'clock at night. And I had just landed in Bombay for an event the next day. And I had just gone to meet him, and I was so excited. I thought we'd have a coffee together. And we were up till 6 a.m. in the studio recording Ishq Shava. It was a glorious moment in my life. And then I remember thinking, it's A.R. Rahman, it's Shah Rukh Khan, it's Yash Chopra. This is going to be amazing. And then a few weeks before the movie came out, obviously, Yash Chopra passed away. And that was like, it sucked, because like these are 3 people who I always wanted to be associated with. And one of them, the head of it, was gone. But he heard the song, he knew I was part of it, he wanted me to be in the movie, and his family was very supportive of that song, and that means a lot to me.
Now, I know you've looked up to A.R. Rahman. How is it working with one of your idols? I mean, that must be a surreal experience.
We sang Ishq Shava that night, turned out to be a big hit, and now we're doing a bunch of other songs together. I'm working on some Hollywood stuff. I got to meet Pharrell and share my music with him, and so things have come out of it, but at the end of the day, I just want to be in a position to make music that people are going to feel something from.